Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope you are doing well. Today we will learn about reading. Yes, about reading. Do you like reading? Of course I do. Today we will learn about reading comprehension. So let's go. Before we start reading, we have to ask, what is reading? Reading is a means of communication and of sharing information and ideas. It's one of the most important life skills and is very necessary to succeed. Remember that reading in English is like reading in your native language. It's not always necessary to read and understand each and every word in English. We need to know what are the stages in reading process. What are stages or phases in the reading process? Reading process consists of 3 stages: before reading, during reading, after reading. Before reading means preview the passage or the text material, develop predictions, set purpose for reading by generating questions. Now, what about during? During, you have to read actively for information and meaning. Search for answers to your questions. Monitor your comprehension as you actively read. So we have to come to the third step after. After you have here to recite and review and summarize passages to check for understanding. Ask yourself, did I answer my own questions? Reread if unable to answer questions. Reread again. Read again to be able to answer your questions. Check your overall understanding. What are the types of reading? We have two types of reading or two ways to read: skimming, scanning. We should follow skimming and scanning. Let's learn how to do skim and how to do scanning. What does skimming mean? Skimming is reading rapidly in order to get a general overview of the material. How to skim? Read the title, read the introduction or the first paragraph. Read the first sentence of every other paragraph. Notice any picture charts or graphs. Notice any italicized or bold-faced words or phrases. Read the summary or the last paragraph. When you want to find a specific detail in a large text, use scanning. Use scanning. What is scanning? Scanning is reading rapidly in order to find specific facts. How to scan? State the specific information you are looking for. Searching for the answers. Try to anticipate how the answer will appear and what clues you want to use to help you locate the answer. For example, If you were looking for a certain date, you would quickly read the paragraph looking only for numbers. Use headings and any other aids that help you to identify which sections might contain the information you are looking for. Selectively read and skip through sections of the passage. In reading, it's important to remember opposites, synonyms, word references, and the title of the passage. Title. It's what the text is about. What is the text speaking about? It is like the main idea, but it's more general, and in the most of times it's shorter. Here is an example for the title. Now, let's read the paragraph and decide the best title for this passage. No one can live without having friends. Every person needs a close friend to share happy times and sorrows with. Because friends affect our life directly, we must be very careful in choosing them. A good friend should have many qualities. He should be honest. The ability to keep my secrets is also a main quality. He is a person who helps me whenever I need him. A friend in need is a friend indeed. The best title for the paragraph is Honesty, Keeping Secrets, Helping Friends, Friendship. Here we are talking about what? About friends. So the main idea for the passage, or the best title for the passage, it will be what? Yes, friendship. Friendship. Excellent. Antonyms. Opposites. Antonyms are words that have contrasting or opposite meanings, like an antonym is a word that has the opposite meaning of another word. Big, small, difficult, easy, hot, cold, interesting, boring. Synonyms. Meaning. They are words with the same or nearly the same meanings. It's a word or a phrase that means exactly or nearly the same as another word or a phrase in the same language. Some examples for synonyms: large, big, return, come back, on, have, hard, difficult. Reference. Reference words are usually pronouns which refer to a previously stated head word. Words are usually pronouns which refers to a previously stated head word. Look for the reference word in the text. Reference words in the text. And identify what kind of pronoun is subject, object, possessive. Look at the previous information in the text and identify the words it refers to. Here, it refers to what? The shape of the desert, which you called the camel. Now, substitute the reference word with the head word, it with the camel. Make sure the sentence makes sense. And now, let's read. Tips for reading. Read the text more than once. Read the questions. Read the first sentence of each paragraph. Write your own answers in full sentences and clear handwriting. Now, let's read the text. Here is a reading comprehension. You have to read it silently and be focused on the underline words and bold words to look at the answers. It helps you to focus on the following questions. Now, after you read, you have to start to see the questions. Let's answer the questions. Choose the correct answer from A, B, C, or D. Now, the best title for the passage is what? Sisters, mother, lovely twins, friends. Yeah, they are talking about lovely twins. Lovely twins. Aisha and Fatma, they are sisters, but they are lovely twins. The main idea for the passage is lovely twins. The underlined word same in line number 5 means I should go to the underlined word same. They look the same. Yes, same. The meaning of same is different, similar, bad, big. Yes, it's similar. They are same. They look same in everything. Okay. Question number 3. The underline word she in line 9. Here line 9 refers to who. We say in reference words we go back to the previous information. Their mother doesn't. So here the pronoun she refers to who? Mother. Fatma, Aisha, father, mother. Yes, the correct answer will be mother. The opposite of happy in the last line in line here, happy. The opposite of happy in last line, it will be what? Good, slowly, sad, made. We say opposite words are contrasting meaning. Yes, it will be what? Happy. The opposite of happy. Yes, it will be sad. Aisha and Fatma are in grade. Aisha and Fatma were in grade what? Yes, they are 4, 3, 1, 9. You can scan and skim quickly for the information. They are scanning right now, 9 years old. They are in grade what? Grade 4. Yeah, they are in grade 4. That's correct. We have another type of question. We have to answer the following questions. So when we answer question, we have to see the passage carefully and search for the information. So we have to scan it carefully according to what or due to what? To the question. Let's see. How old is Aisha and Fatma? Yes, how old is Aisha and Fatma? They are 9. They are 9. So here I scanned for the information. Yes, I got it. They are 9. I have to underline 8 from the beginning of the full stop to the end of the full stop, the following of full stop. Yes, I should write it in capital letter and end it with the full stop and as it's written in the passage. Question number 2. Why do you think Fatma's and Aisha's father wants them to look different? Why do you think of that? Let's search in the passage. Now, why do you think Fatma's and Aisha's father want them to look different? Yes, their father told their mother to get one of them different haircut so that he can tell them apart. Yes, that's the correct answer. We should write it here in a capital letter and in a full answer putting full stop at the end.
Hello! Today we're going to talk about reading comprehension and I'm going to share some teaching tips. These tips will guarantee that all students will be involved, engaged, and these tips are super easy. All you need to do is walk the students through the process. So, you're probably wondering, what should students do first? Should they read the text and then perform the reading comprehension questions? Or should they read the questions first and then go back to the text? Actually, both strategies are very effective. It's very important to keep this in mind. Reading the text first requires more time, but reading the questions first and then skimming and scanning the text for answers requires less time. My advice is, practice both strategies with your learners and allow your students to see what works better for them. As teachers, we clearly understand that students need to become active and independent learners when approaching a reading comprehension text. So, are you ready to go over some practical tips that I use to make reading comprehension lessons more fun and motivating? As English language teachers, we need to make sure that our students acquire two very important skills, which are skimming and scanning. When teaching reading comprehension to beginner levels, you need to start with these types of questions: completion and yes/no questions, or circling the correct answer. Starting with these types of questions helps learners acquire the skill of skimming and the skill of scanning a text. Let's consider some examples. This is a reading comprehension text for 3rd or 4th grade learners who learn English as a second or a foreign language. To build your students' reading comprehension skills, start by asking questions that start with circle the correct answer. By doing this, students use highlighters and locate the words in the question that appear in the text. They do not need to write anything, but they just need to make sure that the word that appears in the question appears in the text. And by doing this, they are acquiring and practicing the skill of scanning. Another very effective way of teaching reading comprehension to young learners is by asking completion questions. This is an advanced level where students are required to complete missing information, but again, they are practicing their scanning skills. Another very effective way to teach reading comprehension to young learners is to ask questions like yes and no. Once more, students are practicing their scanning skills and they need to go back to the text and check if this information they have in the sentence is correct or not. It's extremely important to highlight that using highlighters or colorful colors to locate words is very beneficial. Another thing I do every time I teach reading comprehension is I make sure I have flashcards for the instructions on the board in front of the students, and these flashcards include visuals that help students understand what certain instruction requires them to do. You can download all the flashcards you see in this video by clicking on the link right below this YouTube video. In the second part of this video, I'm going to share some strategies for teaching WH questions and reading comprehension texts for both beginner and advanced levels. Before approaching a reading comprehension text and answering certain questions, it doesn't harm if you go over WH questions with your learners and you remind them or have them remind themselves what each WH question requires them to look for, what kind of information. I usually hang all the flashcards on the board because it is really important that all students have access to the meanings of these WH questions, and with these symbols of pictures, they are able to locate certain information they are looking for. I'm going to share some strategies I use with beginner levels, but keep in mind that these same strategies work very effectively with advanced and intermediate levels as well. My strategy is that students go first to the reading comprehension questions and then go back to the text, because I find this method time-consuming and it helps students locate certain information more effectively. If we consider the example right over here, what season is it? And we go first to the question and ask students to answer these following questions. What is the meaning of what? What information are we looking for? And what are the important words in this question? By walking our students through these steps that are very basic and simple, we are achieving our goals by having them become independent and active learners. Another strategy I use that is similar to using a highlighter is by having key symbols and asking students to come to the board and put the key symbols right below the keywords in a question. And they use these key symbols to locate the keywords in the text they have. So this is a teaching example that I'm going to share with you. Okay, Karima, can you read the question, please?
Yes. When does Hope read a book? When? So the answer needs to be a time, a month, a year, or a day.
Can you show me where the keywords are?
Yeah. When and Hope and read and look.
Okay, let's look at the text. Can you find these words in the text?
Yeah. Hope reads a book on Tuesday.
Excellent, well done. Can you put the symbol below the word Tuesday? Excellent, well done. And don't forget that motivation is the most important aspect of every lesson. Try to be creative and have a lot of competitions, challenges when teaching reading comprehension texts. I like the idea of having students work in groups, and what I do is I ask them in groups to locate the keywords in a question and then find these keywords within a text, and I do it by using a game called Bingo. You could instruct your learners to perform one question at a time or a set of questions, and when they finish all the questions they are required to perform, they say the word bingo. Make it even more fun by asking them to show you a sign, or by having them ring on a bell, or any other way you find that might motivate them to be more engaged. And not only are they engaged, but they are working faster. And this is the skill you want them to really acquire when it comes to practicing reading comprehension. Something else I do when I teach reading comprehension is in groups I ask learners to perform certain tasks, and I have a time limit that they are required to finish all the questions they have before the time ends, and I have some music playing in the background. Sometimes teachers get a little bit worried about classroom management issues when doing group work activities, but if you want to try this out, you could do it with one question at a time and with a timer and some music in the background, and this helps you monitor more effectively what is going on and keeping pace of how effectively students are performing a certain task. And another very motivating tip that you could do when teaching reading comprehension is have competitions in the classroom. So, for example, you would divide the class into rows or groups, or however you find it very effective to do in your classroom, and have them come to the board and perform as many questions as possible. And by doing this, they are not only practicing their reading comprehension skills, but they are also improving their social interaction skills and working cooperatively to perform a certain task. As teachers, I'm sure that you all agree that monitoring is a very, very important practice that teachers need to do while teaching. And while monitoring, if you note that some students are facing difficulty while performing a certain task, then it's a very nice way to engage all learners to be active agents of change and have students become teachers and explain how they found or located certain information in the text, because out of experience, I find it fascinating how learners learn from each other. They do it much better and learn much better from each other when they work cooperatively and explain to each other certain difficulties. One last thing, don't forget to praise and compliment your students all the time. Go over some key strategies when they are performing certain reading comprehension tasks and highlight the importance of using this or that strategy while performing a reading comprehension task. In addition to giving praise and complimenting your learners when they do perform a certain task very, very successfully, I sometimes give out certificates and rewards, and I believe that doing this is very, very important for motivation, and especially when you have a certain group that did perform a certain task in a very, very, very effective and successful way. I hope that your next reading comprehension lesson is going to be an awesome lesson. And remember that your students will love reading comprehension tasks when they are provided with key strategies and techniques of how to perform a reading comprehension task. You can download all the certificates and key symbols and flashcards by clicking on the link right below this YouTube video. Thank you for watching, and I really hope that you find these tips very effective and useful to use in your classes.